The Seesaw Activity Library is a growing resource of grade level and subject specific activities created by teachers like you. Find ideas that inspire your students to reflect and share their learning in creative ways. You can also share activities you like with other teachers by following these instructions. To get to the activity library, you start by clicking on the green plus or add icon, and then assign activity. It's automatically going to open up to your individual library, so there may or may not be any resources here depending on how familiar you are with the library itself. Now, to get to the popular community library, you click on the word community, and here you can browse the activities based on grade level or content specific ideas. So start by clicking on all grades and changing it to the grade level you want to filter through, or you can leave it at all grades. And then if I click on all subjects, I can change it to the topic that I'm looking for, or I can simply use this search bar and search all third grade activities for a particular topic of my choice. Then it'll populate all the activities that have already been created on that given topic. Once you find one that you really like, you go ahead and click on it one time, and you can either share it with your class by clicking assign, and so it will share it as is and assign it to your class using the directions that that teacher has created. Or if you prefer to add your own steps and your own directions, instead, you will click the heart to add it to your library. And so when I go over to my library now, it's going to be a lesson that I have favorited. And now I can edit it by clicking on the three dots in the lower right-hand corner. Here, if I add copy and edit activity, I can change any of these words or also add voice instructions. Now, if you notice, some of these words have colons in front of them. When you put a colon in front of certain words, it changes that word into the picture of the icon that students will be using to create. So instead of saying rec, label, or add, it will show that icon image. You also have the option of attaching an example of what you want your finished product to look like. So if you create an example ahead of time, you can link it here for students to be able to view, and it'll appear on their screen. Or you can also add a template for students to edit themselves. So when you add the template, make sure that it's blank and it's not, it doesn't have anything covering any of the spaces you want the students to write on. If you have directions embedded in that template, make sure that they are in a space that students will still be able to add and contribute their own work. So in this activity, they're going to be able to use all the creativity tools, add their voice, add pictures, add text, shapes, change the background, color, and draw on it. But the template kind of gives them an outline of where to put all of the information they're looking for. So if I wanted to add my voice instructions, I'd click here, but you'll see when I click save, those icons that had the colon in front and behind them appear instead of the words. Now, because I've edited it, it is now showing me as the creator because now I've made some changes to this one. After I've made those changes and I'm happy with it, I can click assign, and I can assign it to one or multiple classes at the same time. Now, if I don't want to assign it where it appears in their journal right away, I can click on schedule and I can select when I want this to appear in their journal. Because as we know, if it appears, there will be some students who automatically just start working on it as opposed to waiting for instructions. And sometimes you just rather it show up later after you've taught an activity or a lesson so that students don't do too much of the work ahead of time without you. So now that activity is in my library, and I can share it with any of my classes. I can also copy and share the activity link with other teachers. So if I do an activity in my Seesaw class and other teachers are really interested in using it, I can email it to teachers who are already using Seesaw, or I can get the activity link, copy that link, and email it to them separately as well.